Hello, Steve White, Steve Arts 89. Well, I watched the Oscars this year, the whole show. I didn't watch it live because I had to try and sleep, and it was the middle of the day, and that's usually when I can manage to get a couple hours sleep. So after I woke up about an hour later, I realised, oh, that was a few hours ago. That's sitting there waiting for me, and I didn't end up watching it until about 6 p.m. I think it was 11 a.m. that it actually aired. But fortunately, I didn't see any spoilers. I thought I did. I accidentally opened my phone to Facebook and I saw a picture of Demi Moore winning her Oscar on stage in that Oscar gown, getting her Oscar. I'm like, oh, damn. I mean, I'm happy for her, but damn, I would have liked that to have been a surprise. So then I watched the show, and here comes Best Actress. I'm like, okay, Demi's going to win. Good for her. And this other bitch gets up. I'm like, what? And I realised that it was like a fake picture. I guess someone posted some picture of what, they thought how it should have gone, which was Demi winning the Oscar. And I'm like, oh, you bastard. I thought that was actually her on stage getting it. So I sort of was spoiled twice. First time because I'm like, oh, damn, I missed the surprise. I'll know who gets it when I watch it. And then the actual surprise of, oh, it wasn't Demi. It was some other person I don't care about. So that kind of almost ruined the whole night. But it was a good show. Conan O'Brien did an okay job. It started off well with a rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I'm still asking why. And then, of course, they went into Wicked. And my main big issue with the show now, there's two. One is that they don't show the musical numbers that are nominated, which is ridiculous because this should be a big show with musical numbers and, stuff like that. It should be entertaining, not just people reading out names. So the idea that they actually spent time on other supposedly entertaining things when they're not doing the songs, I mean, that was always a way of having some kind of entertainment in the show with those songs. So I just don't understand why they've removed them. Now, they did a tribute to James Bond because, well, Bond's dead now. And it was a real slap in the face to Amazon. It's like, oh, well, Bond's gone now. They're not making any films anymore. Barbara and her, I think her brother were both there. They sort of got a nod and tribute and everything. And it was nice because they showed clips from all the old Bond films and everything. But then they went into a musical number where they did a mashup of like some of the biggest Bond songs done by very talented women who I don't know who they were. And I'm like, okay, this is nice, but I would rather that time have been spent actually having performances of the songs nominated this year. So, and there was a lot of wasted time in the performance where in the show, like there were times where you just were watching the Oscar winners leaving the stage and going backstage, and there was a few backstage shots and a few times where it came up from the ads and the music was still coming down and there was no one on the stage for like 10 seconds. I'm like, who is directing this? This is the worst Oscars broadcast I've ever seen. And there's such a concern of how long the show goes and all that, and not wasting time. I mean, Conan did a very bitchy number about, oh, we won't waste time, and the whole song is basically a waste of time. And I'm like, that's not really funny because there's actually performances and elements and things from the shows that should be seen in the broadcast that aren't. And part of the thing with the Oscars is not just reading out the names and giving out the awards, it's showing the films. And like, for example, The Brutalist, I had no idea what that film was about. I thought it was about some brutal guy in some country somewhere who gotten something happened to him. I'm like, okay, I have no idea what it's about. Adrian Brody's in it. Okay. Now I know what it's about. I want to see the film. Now I've seen some of the beautiful cinematography. I want to see this film. They're supposed to not just give out the awards, but also promote the films, show the films. How can we do that without clips? And my God, the parts where the actors is just talking to the other actors and saying, you're the greatest gift on earth. You're the greatest gift on earth. You're the greatest gift on earth is just so cringe. I mean, Jesus, just show the performance and let us choose if they're the greatest gift of acting on earth. And the worst part was probably Ariana Grande when she's being told she's the best thing on earth. She's like, thank you. I'm like, it's scripted, bitch. She doesn't really feel that. What do you... Aside from that, I loved it. It was just great to watch the Oscars again. I haven't watched it for a long time, probably over a decade. I don't think I've watched a full broadcast for over a decade because of the time difference in Australia. Back in the day, they just showed it at night, like 8:30 at night. It was prime time. But once the internet came around, they kept spoiling the Oscars, so you'd see it all day on the news, the Oscars, so then when you tried to watch it at night, you knew it just didn't work. And then it just kind of got lost, and now it's kind of been reclaimed through streaming because we can watch it live when we want, and if you don't want spoilers, you can just watch the broadcast before, it all gets out there. I chose to sleep and just not go online, or try to, because my Facebook, I accidentally opened it. It was the last thing I opened on my phone, so when I opened my phone up from the night before, it just opened to a page with Demi Moore apparently winning an Oscar. So, yeah. But it was great. I enjoyed it. The last time I tried to watch it was a year or so ago. I sat down about 30 seconds before the slap, right in front of the TV, and was traumatized and didn't watch since. So, thanks, Will. But, okay, so the standout moments for me, I'm going to go through quickly. Makeup. I love that practical makeup is, still being used in films, but I was surprised the Substance won it because the makeup was so over the top and it was very like Evil Dead 2, I felt, and The Witches. And in a way it's good because normally the fantasy and surreal makeup doesn't get the respect that the realistic like gore and stuff like that gets, or aging or stuff like that. So the fact it did get that award is kind of important. What was the other thing? Oh, the Bond dedication was nice because we loved the Bond films. There's been like 25 of them. There've been generations of people who love those films. Zoe winning Best Supporting Actress was amazing, but as soon as she won it, no, not for this, because of all the controversy. This award she's never gonna be taken seriously for a performance and this award because of all the controversy surrounding the film, which is basically a white French guy in all his entitlement making films about communities he doesn't know anything about and apparently hasn't communicated with and has done nothing but offend. And I really didn't want that film to win anything when I should have been wanting it to win things because it was supposed to be, showcasing, a trans actress and celebrating a trans character, but they managed to spoil all of that and sour all of that. But yeah, it still won Best Song and something else. I can't remember. Now the other elements, sound and FX. Special effects and sound were both won by Dune Part 2. Just like makeup, very important because they weren't realistic. And it's a lot harder to create sounds for things that don't exist and make things that don't exist and look real. So traditional effects awards and makeup effects awards usually go to the films that are realistic. And so often the really creative films don't get the acknowledgement because people know that it's not real, even if it looks real. So there's that bias that seems to always stop it. Star Trek 6 got nominated for Best Makeup back in the day and didn't win it, and went to something more realistic, like gore effects for Terminator 2 or something. It's always sort of been the way it's gone, I think. But I think I'm just going to go through the actual list, and if I forgot anything, hopefully I'll remember as I go through. So Nora got Best Picture, which is nice. It seems to be an important film, and there's a great joke from O'Brien, Conan O'Brien, about, finally someone standing up to a Russian man, which everyone applauded to because obviously he's talking about you-know-who. Best Actor in a Leading Role was Adrian Brody, and he did give a very powerful speech, and he managed to stop them from, playing him off because he's won 2 Oscars about two very important films commenting on anti-Semitism, racism, and war, and they are important. And he felt very honoured to have done these roles and be able to win for that and comment on that. So that was a nice speech. Best Actress in a Leading Role was Mikey Madsen in Nora. I would have preferred it to have been Demi Moore, but we don't always get what we want. Best Supporting Actor was Kieran Culkin, who I didn't know was in Home Alone. That was for a real pain. Don't know what that is. See, there should have been clips from that movie. I should know what that movie is, but I don't. So that's one area where the awards show is failing. It's not really promoting the movies that they're actually celebrating. It's Best Actress in a Supporting Role, of course, Zoe Saldana. She did give a great speech. It was very impassioned. She is the first of her people to get that award, and a lot of people forget because they just think of her as just a black girl, and it's like, no, she's actually Puerto Rican, and she's got other, but no, we just forget about all that. So, fortunately, she got to speak to that, which was good. Best director was Sean Barker for Anora. Best cinematography was The Brutalist, and it does look beautiful, and now I want to see it, which is the power of Oscars, because before that I didn't even know what it was. I just thought it was about some brutal guy somewhere doing something he shouldn't do. International feature film, I'm Still Here. Best adapted screenplay, Conclave, I don't really know what it's about, something to do with religion. Best original screenplay, Anora. Best live action short, I'm Not a Robot. In the Shadow of the Cypress was best animated short film. Best animated feature film was Flow. Some nice speeches from the sort of smaller awards recipients, because they normally don't get the attention that the big Hollywood films get. It's always nice to see these people get acknowledged, but there was one awkward speech where people were trying to read a script they had on their phone, and the female of the two kept she sort of was saying parts out of context, and it was supposed to be read, and he just read the whole thing, and they sort of repeated everything, but in sort of flow. And I'm like, okay, if they just cut out the first part, that was a nice speech. But I mean, it's hard when it's not English, not your first language, and you're in front of the whole world. The nerves must be incredible. Best documentary short was The Only Girl in the Orchestra. Best documentary feature film. Now they gave a good speech. This was The Other Land, and they pointed out the fact that we are both from we two people are from both sides of this war and this issue, and our voices are stronger when we're united. And through politics, we can actually resolve this, not through war. And it was a good speech, and I'm glad they got the award and they got to give that speech. Best original song was I can't pronounce this, ELMAL. I'm just going to say Emal. It's not. I know that's not how you say it. From Emilia Perez. I wish Nothing had won from that film. The song is about something important though, So, but there's other things I wish would have won instead, but it did. Best original score, The Brutalist. Best makeup and hairstyling, The Substance. Best costume design. Oh, Wicked, that's right, because costume design was great in that film, and the guy who won it's the first black guy to win for costume design, and I think he might have been gay, but I'm not sure, but all the better. What's this one? Oh, best editing was Anora. Best sound, of course, was Dune Part 2. Best effects was Dune Part 2. Wicked actually got production design, which is amazing, because they could have green screened that film, but they didn't. They actually built pretty much Oz, and it made it real for the actors. It just gives so much to the production, because we went through this phase where it was all easier with green screen and CGI, and we lost something for a while, and we're getting back to actually building the sets, because even if it does cost more money or whatever, it's more complicated, at least it looks real. A lot of these effects, you can do more with effects, but does anyone believe it anymore? There's a lot of issues there. What else? Best visual effects, Dune. And I think that's the end of the list. I hope nothing was missed off, but the list I'm reading through, that's where it stopped. So overall, the show was good. Conan was okay, had a couple of funny moments. Goldie Hawn was there. There's some fabulous people were there. But yeah, the production was a bit sloppy. There were some parts where they were just wasting time, and the camera was just sitting on something. And I'm like, where is the director? How is this not running like finely oiled machine? But a couple of numbers that just wasted time when they could have had the actual songs from the shows being done. And the actor telling the other actors how amazing they are is just cringe. Let's just say their names, show the performance, and we can see how amazing they are, and actually maybe promote the actual film and their performance. Because some of these people, I didn't see the film, I don't know who they are, and they're just getting nominated. I'm like, who is this person? They're sitting in a crowd, they're well dressed, but what? What are they there for? Okay, that's my semi-rant. But yeah, I loved it. I'm going to start watching all these shows again, because I watched one of the music awards shows a couple of years ago, just streaming it, so I'm like, I think I was sick that day, and I'm like, I need to watch something. Oh, that was today. I'm going to watch the whole show. That gives me 3 hours where I don't have to think or move. And it was really great. I'm like, I like award shows. I love art. I love the arts, and I love the celebration of it, and I think it's important. And I'm a bit disappointed in myself for stopping watching the Oscars, and part of it is because I wanted to work in film, and I gave up on that dream a few years ago. And I guess, you know, the Oscars were a lot less appealing when, you know, you realise you're never actually going to be there. So yeah, but I can enjoy them now. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Overall, good show. Wish it hadn't have been fake spoiled. But overall, I enjoyed it. So, looking forward to next year.